Will Frak surpass Cole as the Earth Ninja? In one corner, we have Cole, the original Earth Ninja, with a legacy as solid as the rocks he commands, and in the other, Frak, the newcomer introduced in Ninjago Dragons Rising, wielding the power of Quake. This theory-driven analysis will compare their characters, abilities, and story arcs to see if the young Elemental Master of Quake could one day outshine the original Master of Earth. Grab your tea, or cake, if you're Cole, and let's dive in. Frak burst onto the scene in Ninjago Dragons Rising as the Elemental Master of Quake, a power related to Earth and vibrations. After the great merge of the realms, Frak gained his Quake abilities and was recruited by the villainous Lord Ras into the Wolf Clan. Initially fighting on Ras's side in the ominous Tournament of the Sources, Frak quickly proved himself to be brave, honest, and guided by a strong moral compass. In fact, when ordered to wear the corrupting wolf mask during the tournament, Frak refused, valuing his own morals over blind obedience. This was a bold stand. The mask was known to shatter the goodness in its wearer, and Frak wasn't willing to sacrifice his integrity. Despite starting on the opposing team, Frak was actually a huge ninja fan at heart, especially a fan of Cole. He considered it an honor to face his hero Cole in combat, and even asked Cole for advice on using the Earth element, much to Lord Ras's frustration. This admiration speaks volumes. Frak looks up to Cole as the gold standard of an Earth-powered ninja. By the end of the tournament saga, Frak became disillusioned with Ras, who ultimately abandoned him, and switched sides. He joined the ninja team as Lloyd's newest student, eager to learn the true way of the ninja and use his Quake powers for good. Who is Frak as a character? He's depicted as brave but a bit naive, a loyal friend who wants to do what's right. After enduring Ras's harsh training, Frak became a formidable fighter. He learned to infuse his punches with seismic power, and even picked up some spinjitzu techniques along the way. Yet, upon joining the ninja, he had to unlearn some of that aggressive win-at-all-costs mentality. Under Lloyd, Cole, and Kai's mentorship, Frak has been learning to balance his raw power with the classic ninja values of trust and creativity in combat. He sometimes tries too hard to prove himself, leading to clumsy moments, and he can be awkward with social cues, but this just makes him an endearing rookie. Fun fact, Frak has a passion for pie baking and keeps binders of recipes, a quirky hobby he excitedly shares with his friends. Cole might prefer eating cake, but we'll get to that later. In short, Frak is a well-meaning upstart with serious power at his fingertips. He's already had significant moments in Dragons Rising, like rejecting evil influence in the Tournament of the Sources and standing up to his former mentor. In the episode Elements of Betrayal, for example, Frak confronts the fallout of Ras's betrayal and tells Lloyd, "I fought bullies long before I became the Master of Quake. There's more to us than elemental powers." This line underscores that Frak's strength isn't just about his Quake abilities, it's also about his heart. Now that he's officially fighting alongside the ninja, the stage is set for Frak to grow beyond the shadow of his idols. On the other side, we have Cole, the original Earth Ninja, and a founding member of Sensei Wu's team. Cole's legacy spans the entire series from the pilots through Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu, and beyond. He has been the rock of the team, often literally and figuratively. In fact, Cole is known as the rock and foundation of the ninja team, a dependable, level-headed leader when needed. Early on, he was the responsible big brother figure among the ninja, keeping the hot-headed Kai and others in line. Though not officially titled the leader in the show's canon, many fans remember that in the early days we were led to believe Cole was the team leader due to his level-headedness and strength. Cole's personality and growth over the years have been dramatic. He started off rather serious, focused, and uptight, often clashing with Kai's impulsiveness. Before joining Wu, Cole was a teenager struggling with purpose. His mother Lily had just passed away, and he felt adrift. Training as a ninja gave him direction and a sense of honor in helping others. Despite projecting an image of the fearless tough guy, Cole actually had several fears to overcome. In the pilot episodes, he claimed he wasn't afraid of anything, but Zane exposed Cole's fear of dragons, and sure enough, Cole was hilariously hesitant when first taming the Earth Dragon, Rocky. He eventually conquered that fear by bonding with Rocky, showing his capacity to grow past his limits. Cole also had stage fright about dancing in front of his father, a renowned dancer, back in Season 1, a challenge he overcame in the episode The Royal Blacksmiths. He even once had a fear of ghosts, ironic, since he became a ghost himself in Season 5 and had to overcome that dread while literally being one. By facing and defeating the ghostly Master Yang during the Day of the Departed event, Cole not only regained his human form but also put his ghost-related fears to rest. He later got over a fear of singing in public during Season 8 by belting out a song, with Zane scheming, at a karaoke bar full of villains. In fact, throughout the series, Cole conquered all his major fears. From dragons and snakes, he made peace with the Serpentine tribes, to ghosts and public performance, all while acting like the bravest of the ninja. This track record of personal growth has made Cole one of the most well-rounded characters in Ninjago. Cole isn't just emotionally strong, he's physically the strongest of the ninja team. He was gifted with the element of Earth, which gives him immense strength and durability. ability. Enemies often feel like they've struck a brick wall when hitting Cole, thanks to his supernatural sturdiness. With Earth elemental power at full tilt, Cole can cause earthquakes, fissures, launch boulders, and basically make the ground itself an extension of his will. Over time, he unlocked even more impressive abilities. One highlight was the Earth Punch, also dubbed his RX or Lava Arms power, a power Cole gained after defeating Master Yang on the Day of the Departed. This ability makes Cole's arms glow orange with tremendous strength, allowing him to deliver punches of seismic force. Initially, Cole himself wasn't even sure of the limits of this new strength. It took practice to control it, but it became one of his signature moves, essentially supercharging his already formidable punches. Cole also masters Spinjitzu, like all the ninja, and uniquely he learned to perform the rare Spinjitzu burst technique, a powerful, earth-based burst of energy tied to his mother's legacy. In Season 13, Master of the Mountain, Cole called upon the Spinjitzu burst in a dramatic showdown, fulfilling the promise he made to his mother Lily to stand up to cruelty and injustice. That moment was a culmination of his legacy, proving him worthy of the earth element in every way. Cole even dabbled in the forbidden arts, using the Scroll of Forbidden Spinjitzu at one point, showing there's hardly any limit to what he's willing to try in order to protect those he cares about. It's also worth noting Cole's personal legacy within the team. He is the son of the earlier Earthmaster, his mother Lily, and a member of the famous royal blacksmiths family, connecting him deeply to Ninjago's history. He has been a big brother figure, a mentor. He helped train young Lloyd back when Lloyd was a newbie green ninja, and the heart of many team bonds. He's best friends with Jay, has a friendly rivalry with Kai, shares a serious mindset with Zane, and has shown great compassion toward Lloyd and Nia over the years. Cole's also known for his big appetite and love of cake, a running joke that despite his rock-hard muscles, he never says no to food. This mix of strength, heart, and a healthy sweet tooth has made Cole a fan favorite. Cole has had dozens of heroic highlights, but a few stand out in context of this discussion. In The Royal Blacksmiths, Season 1, Cole overcomes personal insecurities to impress his father and secures the team's victory in a dance competition, a small but meaningful character win. In the Day of the Departed special, Cole's duel against Sensei Yang results in Cole returning to human form and unlocking the Earth Punch, proving his tenacity and giving him a power even his teammates don't have. And in Master of the Mountain, Season 13, Cole faces the Skull Sorcerer, invoking the Spinjitzu burst as a testament to his mother's legacy and his own growth. These moments solidify Cole as the undisputed Master of Earth, a title he's earned through grit, loyalty, and countless saved lives. Any new Earth ninja, no matter how talented, lives in the shadow of that legacy. Now that we've introduced our contenders, let's compare their abilities and fighting styles head-to-head. Both Cole and Frak draw power from the Earth, but how they use it is intriguingly different. Cole's powers and style. Cole's Earth power gives him tremendous strength and resilience. He often fights like a human bulldozer, smashing through obstacles and foes with raw might. Cole can literally stand his ground. Enemies who charge him often bounce off as if hitting solid rock. He's a master of using the terrain to his advantage, creating earthquakes, splitting the ground, and launching rocks at opponents when needed. His style has historically been about power and endurance. Cole favors heavy weapons that complement his strength. For instance, he once wielded the Scythe of Quakes and later took to using massive hammers. In close combat, he might throw a superhuman punch, especially now with his Earth Punch ability, or perform Spinjitzu to become a whirl of elemental force. One of Cole's unique combat moves is combining his Earth Punch with Spinjitzu to create a magma trail, a burning path of lava that can take out lines of enemies. He's also one of the few who can pull off Spinjitzu burst, releasing a shockwave of earth energy at a pivotal moment. Cole's strengths are clearly his physical power, experience, and diverse arsenal of earth techniques. His weaknesses are harder to pinpoint, but if anything, he's so direct that subtlety isn't his forte, and in earlier days he sometimes acted on impulse, like misusing wishes in Wishmasters. Additionally, being such a powerhouse means if an enemy immobilizes him or neutralizes his elemental power, Cole has to rely on pure muscle and skill, which granted, he has plenty of. Over the years, there were times the story nerfed abilities like his air jitsu or dragon summoning, but in a straight fight, Cole's only real weakness might be that he's not the fastest or the flashiest ninja, just the steady, strong one. And of course, he's got a soft spot for cake that a crafty foe could exploit with a well-timed distraction pastry. Just kidding, mostly. Frak's powers and style. Frak's elemental quake power is related to Earth, but functions more through vibration and shockwaves. Think of Frak as controlling the seismic energy of the Earth. He can generate powerful vibrations to simulate quakes, and even amplify the force of his strikes by infusing them with tremor energy. One very interesting advantage Frak has is versatility. Unlike Cole, Frak can extend his quake powers beyond just rock and soil. He's able to vibrate metal and other materials as long as they're solid. This means Frak could, in theory, shake apart an opponent's weapon or armor by targeting its vibrations, something Cole's more traditional conventional earthbending approach might not directly accomplish. Frak has shown he can create massive shockwaves and even seems immune to the effects of his own quaking, no friendly fire from his earthquakes. His fighting style, thanks to Ra's training, was initially aggressive and brute force. He trained to strike hard and without hesitation, channeling quake energy into every hit. In the Tournament of the Sources, Frak proved to be a skilled combatant, even before fully joining the ninja. He has used swords in battle, as seen when he fought alongside Kai with the new reveal blades against dragon warriors. But he hasn't settled on a signature weapon yet. Frak's style is evolving now that he's training with the ninja. He's learning to incorporate spinjitzu properly and to rely on more than just raw power. One could say Frak's approach is a blend of brawler and learner. He throws heavy punches like an earthquake boxer, but he's also watching and emulating the veteran ninja techniques. Frak's strengths include his raw power, the flexibility of his vibration abilities, and the fierce determination from having something to prove. He also briefly demonstrated the ability to use other elements. During the Tournament of the Sources, he won and wielded elemental powers like earth, ice, and reflex, speed, teleportation reflex, for a short time. This means Frak has experienced fighting with multiple powers, a rare feat that could make him more adaptable. As for weaknesses, Frak is still new and relatively inexperienced. He doesn't fully command his quake powers at the level Cole commands Earth yet. He's also mentioned to struggle with over-eagerness. He sometimes pushes himself too far to impress his mentors, which can lead to mistakes. His naivety and loyalty were used against him by Lord Ra's early on, which shows he can be manipulated if he's not careful. And while Frak's aggressive style can overwhelm an opponent, it might backfire against a clever enemy who exploits his straightforwardness, very much like young Cole had to learn not to act on impulse. On a lighter note, Frak's also a bit awkward socially. Not a direct combat weakness, but it shows he's still finding his footing in teamwork and camaraderie. Time and training will likely smooth these edges. In summary, Cole is like an unmovable mountain, and Frak is like a sudden quake. Cole's power is steady, overwhelming force. Frak's is sharp, versatile tremors. Cole has perfected his abilities over years, while Frak shows flashes of incredible potential that he's just beginning to hone. Power isn't the only factor in who stands out as a ninja. Character and story arc matter too. Let's look at how Cole and Frak's journeys shape them, and what that might mean for who comes out on top. Cole's arc. Over a decade of Ninjago stories, Cole has gone through profound development. He transformed from a directionless teen to a pillar of the ninja team. A key theme for Cole has been overcoming personal challenges to emerge stronger. We talked about how he conquered fears, dragons, ghosts, etc., and fulfilled promises to his family. Importantly, Cole's motivation often ties back to his late mother's charge to stand up to those who are cruel and unjust. That moral resolve became central to his identity. Whether he's fighting tyrants like the Skull Sorcerer or protecting a baby Wu, Cole stands up for what's right. His arc also includes literal ups and downs. Becoming a ghost in Season 5 tested his sense of self, but he emerged with a more humble and grateful outlook on life. By the time of Master of the Mountain, Cole fully embraces who he is, harnessing the burst and uniting conflicting groups, the Geckles and Munts, through his leadership. Cole's story is largely about responsibility and heart. He becomes the big brother mentor figure who will sacrifice and struggle to keep the group together. In recent seasons, like Crystallized and beyond, Cole continues to be a steady presence. While other characters have dramatic fluctuations, Lloyd dealing with destiny, Zane with identity, etc., Cole often provides the grounded perspective. This consistency in his arc means Cole's already achieved much of his potential and cemented his legacy. Frak's arc. Frak's story is just beginning, but it's already compelling. His arc so far centers on finding the right path and proving himself worthy of the ninja title. We saw Frak start as a kid who hates bullies and wants to use his powers for good, but he got a bit sidetracked by Lord Ra's promises. The Tournament of the Sources was a crucible for Frak. He literally fought against the heroes he idolized and had to decide what kind of warrior he wanted to be. By refusing the Wolf Clan's corrupt methods and later befriending his former opponents, Frak showed a capacity for growth and virtue, not unlike Cole's own moral stance. After Ra's abandons him, Frak doesn't fall into despair. Instead, he embraces Lloyd's offer to train as a ninja student alongside the new generation heroes Aaron, Sora, and Wildfire. This is a big turning point, from misguided pupil of a villain to eager pupil of the legendary Green Ninja. Since then, Frak's arc has been about adapting. He has to unlearn the dark, hyper-competitive teachings of Ra's and learn teamwork, trust, and creativity from the ninja. There's a nice parallel here. As Cole once had to learn to lighten up and trust his teammates back in the early days, Frak is now learning to fight not just with brute force, but with wisdom and friendship. A noteworthy moment in Frak's arc is when he felt the earth screaming, a sensation Cole himself once experienced. In a recent adventure, while training under Cole and Kai, Frak demonstrated an attunement to the earth similar to Cole's own sensing ability. This led them to discover a great secret, the remains of a source dragon, together. It's almost symbolic. Frak is walking the path Cole walked, step by step. When a threat later caused Cole to be hollowed, drained of life or power. Frak had to carry on the mission alongside the others in Cole's absence. This was a true test. Could the rookie keep up when the veteran was taken out? Frak rose to the challenge, helping the team push forward against the enemy, Thunderfang and the Forbidden Five. Moments like this hint that the story is giving Frak opportunities to fill Cole's shoes, even if temporarily. Frak's personal traits, like his awkward yet earnest nature, also make his journey engaging. He's passionate, whether it's about justice or baking pies, and somewhat idealistic. There's a subtle contrast. Cole, as he grew up, became more open and warm. Remember him taking care of Baby Wu like a dad in Season 8? Whereas Frak started very earnest and warm-hearted, but needs to become more disciplined and self-assured as a ninja. Essentially, their arcs are at different stages on similar themes of self-improvement and staying true to oneself. Frak has the benefit of learning from Cole's example, which might accelerate his growth. Time to address the central theory head-on. Could Frak surpass Cole as the Earth Ninja? And what would that mean? This is the classic case of student versus master, or in this case, fanboy versus legend. It's a tough call with many angles to consider. From a power perspective, Frak absolutely has the potential to match or even exceed Cole's abilities one day. He's already shown feats that took Cole years to develop. For instance, Frak instinctively figured out how to use Quake powers in novel ways, like vibrating metal objects, which Cole hasn't demonstrated. He also temporarily wielded multiple elements after winning the Tournament of the Sources, something Cole never did. Cole has stuck to Earth and the brief Golden Power infusion in Season 2, but that's another story. Furthermore, Frak's combat training under a fierce mentor like Ras means he has a level of fighting proficiency that young Cole probably didn't have at the start. If we were to pit Cole in his early seasons versus Frak now, Frak might actually win in raw power and skill, but Cole in his prime, current Cole, is another story. He has experience, wisdom, and those unique powers, Earth Punch, Spinjitzu Burst, in his arsenal. Frak hasn't shown anything on the scale of, say, Cole's Spinjitzu Burst that defeated a major villain. Not yet, anyway. However, consider that Frak is still very early in his journey. As he trains with Lloyd and the others, he could learn Spinjitzu fully, maybe develop his own version of an ultimate technique. Could we see Frak unlock a Quake Burst or some advanced Quake form? It's a fun possibility. If the series continues to spotlight Frak, it might allow him to perform a feat that even Cole hasn't, thereby signaling the passing of the torch. Speaking of passing the torch, that's a crucial lore implication. In Ninjago lore, traditionally only one elemental master exists per element at a time, often passing from parent to child or mentor to successor. The merge changed the rules a bit, since Cole, Earth, and Frak, Quake, now coexist with very similar powers. If Frak surpasses Cole, it could imply that Cole's era as the main Earth Guardian is ending, with Frak becoming the new protector of that element's legacy. This wouldn't necessarily diminish Cole. In fact, it could be portrayed as Cole approving his successor. We might get a storyline where Cole acknowledges Frak's growth, maybe even a symbolic moment like handing down the Scythe of Quakes, Cole's original golden weapon, or another relic to Frak. For the lore, that would be huge. It means the torch is officially passed to a new generation. It would show that the original ninja have succeeded in training new heroes to take up their mantle, given that Lloyd is mentoring new ninja, Eren, Sora, and now Frak. The show is leaning into a next-generation theme. Cole surpassing his own mentor, Sensei Wu, took many seasons, but eventually Cole did stand on equal footing with Wu in terms of leading and teaching. We might see a similar mentor-student dynamic play out faster for Cole and Frak, since Cole can directly train Frak. If Frak surpasses Cole, it reinforces the idea that each generation can rise above the last, a hopeful message for the ever-evolving world of Ninjago. On the other hand, surpassing can mean different things. If we talk about character and legacy, Frak has a long way to go to equal Cole's impact. Cole's legacy spans dozens of world-saving adventures and personal sacrifices. Frak would need to accumulate quite the track record of heroism to be considered Cole's superior in that regard. It's one thing to be stronger in a fight, but another to be as beloved and foundational as Cole. From a storytelling standpoint, it might not be about replacing Cole or one-upping him in a literal sense. Instead, the narrative may set up Frak to carry Cole's legacy forward. In that scenario, Frak doesn't so much defeat Cole or render him obsolete. He validates Cole's teachings by thriving, and maybe eventually doing something even Cole couldn't. For example, perhaps Frak will face a villain or challenge themed around vibrations or sound that specifically requires his Quake powers used in a new way, achieving victory where Cole's traditional approach wouldn't. This would highlight Frak's unique spin on the Earth element and mark a step beyond his mentor. It would be a clever way for the story to say, the pupil has grown even greater. We should also consider their personal qualities. Cole's emotional strength, leadership, and dependability are as much a power as his earthbending. Will Frak surpass Cole in those aspects? Possibly, but he'll have to mature. Cole has been the steady heart of the team. If Frak can demonstrate that kind of reliability and wisdom, that's when we truly say he's surpassed his idol. Frak's already shown he has a good heart, refusing to compromise his values even when pressured. He also showed humility and willingness to learn by seeking Cole's advice early on. These traits are promising. If in future seasons we see Frak leading others, making selfless decisions, or inspiring unity like Cole has, it will be a sign that he's reached Cole's level of character strength. There may even be narrative tests for this. For instance, what if one day Cole is in peril and Frak has to save him, or make a choice that Cole once had to make? That would be a poetic way to measure Frak's growth. What would it mean for the lore if Frak surpasses Cole? It would mark a new chapter for Ninjago. The original ninja, Cole included, would effectively be succeeded by new heroes. It might mirror how, in the lore, Cole's mother Lily was the previous Earthmaster and passed it to Cole. Now Cole passing it to Frak, even if not by bloodline, could be history repeating in a sense. It could also tie into the merge, with new elements and new masters emerging. Ninjago's balance might require the old guard to step back eventually. From a thematic standpoint, having Frak surpass Cole would reinforce Ninjago's recurring theme of renewal. The idea that anyone, even a kid from a merged realm, part serpentine pie baker like Frak, can rise up to be a hero as great as the legends they admire. It's an inspiring prospect for younger viewers and a satisfying progression for longtime fans to see the story world grow. However, we should also be realistic. Cole's fan base and legacy are huge. The writers may not want to outright say Frak is better than Cole, because that could be controversial. Instead, they might position it as the two being partners or different generations of Earthmasters with mutual respect. Perhaps one day, we'll see a team-up where Cole and Frak combine their Earth and Quake powers. Imagine a dual Earth-Quake Spinjitzu combo, the old and the new in harmony. In that scenario, Frak doesn't overshadow Cole, but complements him, and the Surpass might come in subtler ways, like Frak solving a problem Cole couldn't alone. So, will Frak surpass Cole? The analytical answer: Frak has the tools and the heart to eventually rival Cole's power and heroism, but surpassing a legend like Cole is a tall order that will take time and many battles to fulfill. Cole's legacy is immense. He's the original Master of Earth who has saved Ninjago countless times and grown into the team's bedrock. Frak is an exciting new talent, brimming with potential, learning from the best, and already showing signs of exceptional ability. It's very possible that in a few seasons, Frak will stand shoulder to shoulder with Cole, perhaps even performing feats that make us say Cole couldn't have done it better. But rather than a rivalry, it might be more of a passing of the torch. Frak surpassing Cole would ultimately honor Cole's influence. After all, what better legacy for Cole than training a successor who goes on to shine even brighter? From the lore perspective, if Frak does surpass Cole, it will mark a transformative moment in Ninjago history, symbolizing the next generation taking up the mantle of Spinjitzu. It would mean the story of the Earth element lives on, evolving with new interpretations through Frak. Just as Cole kept his promise to his mother Lily to stand up to evil, perhaps Frak will keep a promise to Cole to protect Ninjago with the same dedication. In the end, both characters embody what it means to be the Earth Ninja: strength, stability, and a refusal to give up or give in to wrong. For now, we can only theorize. Cole remains the seasoned veteran with unparalleled experience, and Frak is the rising star with untapped power. It might not be a question of if Frak will surpass Cole, but rather when and how it will happen, and whether it will be portrayed as a friendly evolution or a dramatic changing of the guard. One thing's for sure, we fans will be watching every quake and tremor for clues. What do you think? Will Frak become the next great Earth Ninja and leave Cole's accomplishments in the dust, or will Cole always stay one step ahead of his protege? Perhaps they'll become an unbeatable Earth-powered duo instead of rivals. Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments.